Welcome to the Industry Angel Podcast. We hear from the best business minds across the globe. Entrepreneurs, social influencers, marketing mavens, and sales rock stars. We've got them all. Here comes your weekly dose of inspiration with your host, Ian Farah.
Welcome to episode 111 of the Industry Angel. Thanks for the feedback on episode 110 with Office of Cards author Davide Cherlevine. Remember, you can win a copy of the book by commenting on the social media channels. We also have a 30% offer code for listeners. If you head over to the blog section on industryangel.com, you'll see it there. So thanks for that, Davide. Scott Butcher's got in touch via LinkedIn, and Scott is listening to the podcast this week. He's found it and he's listening whilst driving and stuck in traffic. Apparently Scott's got a lot of travelling to do, so Scott, I'm looking forward to speeding through the English motorways with you. Thanks for getting in touch. Ollie Kemp dropped me an email and he's been listening every morning since he found us, working through the episodes. Now Ollie asks if we're going to have someone that is pro-Brexit. Now, Ollie, this has come up before. If I recall, I think it was Nolan Dale who got in touch and asked a similar question. And what I did was I asked listeners to recommend somebody and see if there's anybody out there we could talk to get the other side of the coin. Because you might remember on episode... Come on, Ian, let's do it. Episode 92 with Tanya Bultman. We heard Tanya's opinion on staying in. And, of course, now we want the other side of the coin. We want someone who's a Brexiteer. So, essentially, Brexit, for all you overseas listeners, if you haven't, you must be living on Jupiter if you haven't heard. Brexit, the abbreviation for British exit. So now we're looking for a Brexiteer, somebody who is in favour of us leaving. And Ollie actually mentioned a few people, so cheers for responding to my email. You've given me a list of people, so, well, I'll try them, Ollie, I'll try them. Some big names there, man, but we'll give it a go. But if anybody else has any guest suggestions, please get in touch. Thanks to Jess Hoare for suggesting a guest as well. We'll hopefully have that recorded this year, Jess, and I hope your Christmas shopping went well. Okay then, so you know how we go diverse. Well, today I'm taking you on another journey through the decades with today's guest. Today we have professional bodybuilder, wrestler, star of movies and TV shows, designer of the Gold's Gym logo, the World Gym Gorilla, the Joe Gold Lifetime Achievement Award. This guy, man, what have you not done? Welcome to the Industry Angel, Ric Drasin.
Well, it's not what I've not done. Not done yet. There's just, oh my God, I've conquered so many things in this world. And I just take it with a grain of salt. It's just something I want to do. I mean, when I did the logo, I started doing silk screening because I wanted to print my own shirts. I didn't want someone else to do them. Then I got into doing airbrushing. Then I got into doing tattooing. And one thing led to another. And then I was teaching wrestling because I wasn't wrestling anymore. So I have a ring in my backyard where I teach it. So it's a little bit of everything. My roots are definitely music. That's what I started with. I'm a guitarist. And with Capitol Records back in the 60s. And then I made a left turn in 65 into pro wrestling. My parents said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. It's just something I want to try." And it worked.
Rick, listeners might be thinking, so what's this got to do with the business podcast? You know, Rick's over there in California. He's done all them things. But there's a little bit self-indulgent in here, Rick, because you're an inspiration to me, but you're such an amazing entrepreneur for me because you've done all these things across the years. Obviously, you know, it's generating money, it's giving you an income, it's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And like, if we could start at the beginning, because you just kind of, you mentioned that you started out in music, so could we start there and maybe take ourselves through the decades? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
Excellent.
started playing guitar when I was 13. And I formed a band when I was 15 in high school. And on the weekends, we played for all the high school and college dances after the games and made $25-$30, which then was a lot of money. Then we entered a battle of the bands in LA and we won. And so we played the Hollywood Bowl, went to Vegas, played around. And I thought, well, I guess this is going to be my deal. but it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I was working out a lot. The YMCA, I entered some powerlifting contests and bodybuilding contests and won. Had a really good body, and these wrestlers would come to town every Thursday to the YMCA, and they'd work out. And my dad used to take me to the wrestling matches. I said, hey, what would it take to get into wrestling? He said, well, you got a good body, but you need someone to train you, and there's no schools. Not back then, anyway. But Johnny Mae Young, she was the women's heavyweight champion. She has a ring up at the Olympic Auditorium. Go see her, and maybe she can do something with you. So that's about a 2-hour drive for me, and I did. And she looked at me, and she says, oh, my God, you look great. I think I can make a movie with you.
How old were you here, Rick?
Huh?
How old were you?
I think I was like 20.
Okay.
But it just worked out in my favor. I started training with her every day, 5 days a week. And it was hard. I mean, it's not easy. You had to learn all types of wrestling because you have Mexican style, Japanese, American, shoot style, and everybody's different. But you still have to do it the right way. So after about 6 months, she says, I'm going to put you on TV, Channel 5. So I said, okay. And there was a guy named Buddy Killer Austin, who was a wrestler, a big guy, blonde hair, ugly looking, skinny arms, big belly. I hope I don't have to work with him because he's rough. He gets in the ring drunk and does this stuff.
Oh,
well,
God.
Sure enough, that's who they gave me. So I worked with him. He locked up with me in the ring just to practice, and he hit me so hard, I saw stars. I said, oh, Jesus Christ, I hope it's not going to be like this. He says, no, I like to lock up hard, and then I'll get loose as time goes on. So we did a match on Channel 5, and it worked out real well. Everybody was happy. He was happy. I was happy. And I was on TV, and I got to see myself, which is kind of cool. And then from that point on, she started booking me everywhere, all over Southern California, where all the shows they ran in different cities at the time. And it took off and did real well. In the meantime, I'm living in Bakersfield, a country town. I said, I got to get out of the city. So I moved to L.A., and I went to work for Kellogg's Cereal just to get a job, just get a regular job. But it wasn't what I wanted to do by any means. So I worked for them for about a year. They didn't like the fact I was bodybuilding. They want me to be more committed to the company. You shouldn't be going to the gym. I said, screw you. This is what I do. This is what I'm going to do. So then I quit, and I moved to Venice and ran into Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we started training together for quite a while, actually. I didn't know Gold's Gym was there. I was training at Bill Pearl's gym in Inglewood. Someone says, oh, go to Gold's. I said, I'd never heard of it. It was nothing at that time. So that's what I did. And we started training together, and Joe Weider would come in, and then Joe asked me, hey, would you like to model my products? I said, I have T-shirt ads in other magazines. He said, well, put it in my magazine. You'll make a fortune. I said, well, I can't afford your magazine. I tell you what, he says, you model my products, and I will give you a free ad every month, which he did. And that was back in the early 70s. And I was making on T-shirt orders about $80,000 a year.
Excellent.
A lot of money back then.
What was his magazine, Rick?
Muscle and Fitness.
Ah, right. Okay. So did Joe launch that, did he?
Yeah. That's it. That was his magazine.
Ah, right. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Well. And I did this for many, many years. Oh, my God. I don't know how long. Maybe 10, maybe longer. And I kept changing the ads around with different designs. And I had keychains and license plate frames. And that was before the internet. So it was totally different. It did good for me.
When you were over at Pearl's and you went to Gold's, who was training at Gold's when you got there then?
Dave Draper.
Oh, Dave was there, was he?
Frank Zane, Giuliani. Some of the guys you see in the magazines.
Yeah.
And then I became one of those guys and never knew that was going to happen. I was in all the magazines and became popular. And then they trained for the Olympia, and I just trained to work out, to do wrestling shows. But I trained like they did. I trained like a bodybuilder. And we all had like the best bodies in the world back then. And I just continued to work out with them like that. And they did their shows, and I did the wrestling. I didn't want to compete. I had no desires to be in bodybuilding as far as contests.
Did you never compete, Rick? Did you not?
I did a couple of shows, and I said, that's enough for me. I don't want to do this. It just wasn't. There's so much politics involved, and I don't care. I didn't care about that. I knew I looked good. But I'd rather take my body and put it in the ring and make money with it than to do it like, those guys did and not have any money.
What about the diet then, Rick? Did you have to have a as clean as diet as Arnie and Dave and people like that who are competing, or could you just
Well, I
let
did.
up a
I
little
mean,
bit?
we all had the same diet because this is what we did. You know, it was our thing. And so we did watch our diets. That's the only way to train and have a good body is to increase your protein, keep your carbs low.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did. I made a point of doing that.
Yeah. What about the cardio? Did the guys do cardio at the time? I mean,
No, there was no cardio then because there was nothing in the gym that had a machine or anything. So there was no way to do cardio. You know what I mean? There was no bikes, there was no Stairmasters, there was no treadmills.
what about you guys running along the beach? Then that might have been a good sight.
Well, it wasn't like a habit. You know, it was like, hey, you want to take a run? Sure, but it wasn't every day. It was just once in a while. But it was basically only diet. You know, if you just didn't eat your carbs, you stay really lean and hard.
Well, did you not get the guys over to do a bit of wrestling, or were they just not interested at all because of
They didn't get hurt.
They didn't want to get hurt? Yeah.
Well, because if you do, then you can't work out.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny. I've seen that picture you've put up a few times where you've like labeled it, and you've literally broken everything, haven't you?
All my injuries, oh my God, I've had so many. It's ridiculous. I don't want to see a hospital again. I mean, to be laid up all the time is like, oh my God. I tore my quads. I had a staph infection. Then I had a knee replacement. Tore my tricep. Lost some teeth. Cortisone shots in every joint. Oh my God, it's terrible. But I'm done with all that.
But then you started training and coaching wrestlers because didn't you have a ring in your yard?
I had my ring and I was doing Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The problem with that is you get these young kids that want to be superstars and they think they got everything, but they don't want to work towards it. They don't want to work out. They don't want to make themselves look good. They just think they have a finishing move and some music, therefore they should be in the ring. And I said, no, it doesn't work like that. And then they have no money. They can't afford to pay. I said, I'm not doing this for free. I have no desire to do this for free. So you lose customers, and it happens to a lot. It happens to a lot of people that train people. They just don't. They have people for a while, and then they lose them, and they can't afford it. And so I said, if you're going to do this, you want a career, you've got to be able to afford this for a whole year. Well, when do I graduate and get shows? I said, there's no such thing as graduation. This is an ongoing thing. You work out every day. You just have to. That's what wrestlers do. They're always learning. There's always something new to learn.
So when did you start getting into the kind of TV and the movies and that sort of stuff?
I was on the beach with Arnold and a few guys, and this company named Haboosh came up to us and said, we're doing a TV commercial for Chevy. We'd like to use a few of you guys for the commercial. Come on down to our office Monday and audition, and we'll go from there. So we all went down there, and we all got the role. It's called Heavy Chevy. It's on YouTube, where you pick this Chevy up, and it's on a cable, but it goes up in the air. And I got $1,000 for it, and I ended up joining Screen Actors Guild. And I got an agent. And next thing I know, I was doing other shows. I got the movie Ben with the Rats and the FBI series, and got an agent for commercials. Did a lot of commercials, beer and cigarettes. And it just worked out. You get a commercial running national, and you get residuals for like a year or two. It can end up being a lot of money.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can make $20,000, $30,000 in a year just off one commercial. Maybe $100,000 if you have a good one.
So I guess were you not just stereotyped though, Rick, in terms of the commercials you did? Did they want the kind of mean-looking guy?
They wanted an outdoor guy. Jeans, plaid shirt. I had a mustache and hair. I looked like Tom Selleck. Just the outdoor guy with a plaid shirt, and I pretty much looked like that.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't really bodybuilding stuff, but although there was a lot of bodybuilding stuff.
So did that take you into like TV though? Because you've done like
I did TV, and then I got some films. Then I got a couple of series. I did the Incredible Hulk. I was the middle Hulk between Bixby and Ferrigno on the Incredible Hulk series. I did the FBI series, and then I did, oh my God, so many. The Shield, most current one, being a bad guy. But I don't go out anymore. I got to a point where I don't want to do auditions. I just don't want to do them. It's tiring. You get a call. Oh, they want to see you across town at 5:00 on a Friday in a pair of Speedos and oil up. I said, I'm 74. I'm not going to oil up. I'm not going to put on Speedos. And I'm not going to drive to Santa Monica in 5:00 traffic. It take me 4 hours to get there.
What was Lou like, Rick, when he was doing the Hulk?
Lou's a good guy. He's a good father. He's a good guy. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for him.
Who did you kind of think that had the best physique then from back in those days?
Arnold.
Did he? Just because he was height, or?
Yeah, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the best physique.
Was he stronger, or?
Well, I don't think anybody cared about strength so much.
Okay.
You're developing your body. It's not about how strong you are. I mean, I was strong. I was stronger than Arnold, but it doesn't mean much. I mean, it's just how you look.
Sure. Yeah. What about now then, Rick? Who would you say like modern day?
Oh, the bodies?
Yeah, like, like Ronnie or Jay Cutler or
You know
is
what?
that,
I'll be real honest with you. I don't even follow it. I don't know. I mean, I'm involved in bodybuilding through my show, but you'd ask me who's who on the Olympia, I couldn't tell you. Jay Cutler interviewed me about a month ago, and he wanted to know what I thought of the Olympia. Did I ever go? I said, nope. He said, why not? I said, I don't like to go to contests. I don't like to go where there's crowds. I don't like to be shoulder to shoulder with people. He said, did you ever see
yeah.
me pose? I said, no, I just saw photos. Oh, you need to see me in person. I said, okay. I said, it's not important to me. I mean, it's just not one of the things I follow.
Right. Fancy dissing Jay.
Here I am part of it, but I don't like to go to contests.
What was your what was your favorite exercise when you were training? What did you like to do the best?
Well, the bench press was easiest for me.
Okay.
I had no problem with that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Was everyone benching? Was that like the main thing then?
I think it still is. I mean, my bench was 455. That's pretty good. Squats, deadlifts, all that stuff. We did it all. The bench press was all. The first thing people say, how much can you bench? They want to know.
So we're skipping around a bit, but I'm just really interested in some of the training aspect. But for listeners, it is self-indulgent for me. So we'll move on. So just thinking about some of the stuff you did when you were doing TV stuff, were you still wrestling at the same time then? Because you were the equalizer, weren't you, for a long time?
Yeah, I always stayed with the wrestling because I did it at night. They didn't interfere with anything.
Oh, right.
So that really wasn't a problem. I took a break for a while, and then I went to the South to wrestle. Then I went to the Midwest, and I went up to Nova Scotia and Montreal. Then I went to Hawaii like once a month. And so it was fun to see other places. And I liked going off on my own anyway, before I had a family and all that. But nowadays, I don't know. I'd rather not do that.
So what does today look like, Rick? What kind of stuff are you doing now then?
I got to go mail all these orders, and then I got to get on my computer and see what's going on and who I need to answer. I get a lot of emails.
Do you?
A lot of emails from people.
Yeah?
Oh, my God. It's questions.
Uh-huh. What about training or?
Yeah, diet, what'd you do, and how's this work, and how's that work? I can't answer all of them. I just tell them I refer to my show. I said, go there, and you'll see it all.
In terms of what you were sending out there, you're doing logos, aren't you? So you're doing the Gold's Gym logo? I'm
doing it on an 8x10 piece of paper, and I sell it for $80, and people can put it on their wall, and I sign it, and I autograph it to them because it's a piece of history,
Of course it is, yeah.
And people like that.
Yeah, they do. No. If you look at ricdrasin.com, you've got it on there, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'll have to get my order in, young man.
I sell a lot of them.
Do you?
Yeah, a lot of them. And then I have them on shirts with my signature. I have the rights to the original one. And Rich Gaspari is going to be putting it on his website to sell it and give me a royalty. And then bodybuilding.com has it, and they pay me a royalty.
Right.
Then I have several books out on training, on steroids, and time in my life, all my history. And I just have a lot of stuff that business-wise, that I do, and it just works out.
Are you going to start anything else? Have you got anything else that you haven't done that you want to do?
I had an old line in the 80s called Big Boy, and it was Big Boy bodywear. It was baggy tops and pants and with a logo. And this man came out from the East Coast just recently from Converse, and he's got a sideline he's doing on Dover Street Market, which is a huge store in New York, very, very high-end store. And he wants to take my Big Boy wear and just reinvent it and bring it back out again in February. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll have a whole new market for me.
That's pretty common now, isn't it? Some of these brands like, I don't know, like Pony or something, that was kind of big in like American football. Yeah. These brands are getting sort of they're re-emerging again, aren't they? Getting
yeah. I think we'll do well with it because it was really popular in the 80s, and you bring it back, people will want it again. People ask me if they're going to do it, and he really wants to do it. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Well, you're going to have to do some modeling again?
No. I mean, it's just no, not me.
Never say never.
Well, I mean, I could, but it's not what it's about. It's about showing the clothing. He'll take care of it in New York for me. He's going to do the whole thing.
What's it like being over in California at the moment? And is it like really busy over there? Or
here?
Yeah.
Los Angeles is always busy. There's always something to do. There's always somebody around. The weather's great.
Uh-huh.
And I got a nice house that I have my studio in, and I have my editing in my office next to my studio, and I have my ring in the backyard, and I have everything here I could possibly ever need.
What about some of your friends from the old times? Are they still training and still around?
Most of them are dead.
Rick.
Can't reach any of them. They're gone. And the ones that are around don't want to do anything. It comes to a weekend, I'll call somebody to go to the movies or dinner. Nah, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I still have to go and have fun.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. So who's still around that you see though? Didn't I see you do something with Tom Tom Platt?
Ken Waller's still around. Roger Keller's still around. Ken Waller, Roger Keller, Frank Zane, Arnold, of course, Franco, Dave Draper. He's up north.
Yeah.
Not too many, really. A lot of them don't train anymore. They don't care about it.
So thinking about some of our younger listeners then, Rick, who kind of might want to learn from someone who's been, in many different industries, many different roles, what could you advice could you lend to them?
Well, the best thing I can say is if you have a dream or you have a passion, then follow it. Don't let anybody sidetrack you and say you can't do it. Don't let anybody say, no, you got to go get an 8-to-5 job because you're never going to reach your dream. I don't believe in that. I did what I wanted to do. My parents weren't sure what I was doing, but I knew what I was doing. And I've had nothing but success from it because I did what I wanted, and it worked out. I was determined to be a success. Had I taken an 8-to-5 job somewhere like my friends I grew up with, I'd be stuck in a small town doing something I hate. So it's got to be something you really enjoy and make money out of it.
Is it all about the money though, Rick, as well, or should you sort of?
No, but you got to eat. You got to have a living.
Yeah.
But success comes from what your accomplishments are. Money is the reward for success, and you can't live without money. I mean, I don't chase the dollar, never have. I chase my desires. But if the dollar comes to me, that's wonderful because I've earned it.
Sure.
So you have to have it. You can't get along without it.
What about mistakes, Rick, along the way? What kind of things that maybe kind of upset your strategies or your direction? Did anything come off? Did the wheels fall off the wagon at any time?
Nope, I never made mistakes, just corrections.
Nicely done.
I made a few mistakes with some of the women in my life, but that always worked out. If you go by the numbers, I've had so many that the few that weren't great, the ones that were, outnumber them.
Think about some of the things that you've done then. What's your standout? What would be the best kind of thing that you've accomplished that you look back on and think, yeah, that was awesome?
Well, doing the logo is like the largest selling logo in the world. That's an icon. That's a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah.
Doing on TV, doing commercials and films, not everybody can do it. I got lucky and I was in the right place at the right time. I've always seemed to happen to have things, people think it fall in my lap, but they don't. You manifest what you want, it just comes to you, and then you make it work. So I can't say any certain thing was the best because they're all good. I'm just doing what I'm doing and hope to keep moving on.
All the things that you've done, did you do that by having a good network and by getting in front of the right people and pushing in front of them and trying to, increase who you knew, or did it just come to you, or how did you do it? I
did it because I'm Ric Drasin.
Okay.
Simple. People come to me, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Okay.
It seems like everybody knows me. Everybody says, I know him, I know Rick, and I don't know half of them. But they want to know me, so they say they know me. But I was always in the right place at the right time. I think it's personality and charisma that really puts you over. Being well-built helps, being nice-looking helps. But I get along with people, and I make them laugh, and they never forget that.
Yeah, sure.
It's all part of it.
I think that is a big part of it, having that personality. I think sometimes, like say my son, for instance, I'd much rather him have a good personality and being able to make people laugh than having a strong brain to go to university.
Right. It's good to have both. I always say there's two kinds of people in this world. There's Ric Drasin and those who wish they were.
Okay, mate. Well, there's only one Rick, isn't there?
Yeah, the only one. Thank God. My old girlfriend says to me, thank God there's only one of you. I'd never be able to handle two.
Well, Rick, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
I can't think of anything. I think I said it all, but just, you got to figure out what it is you really want in this world. You got to be really dead set on what that is. And so that's what you have to go after and chase. And if you do that, you'll have what you want. It'll happen. And be patient. It might take a while, but it'll come to you.
And what about quitting, Rick? If you fall down a couple of times, you just get back up and keep pushing?
Never quit. Just get back up again.
Good man. Those are wise words to leave us with, my friend. Well, listen, Rick. I know you've had a bit of a time lately as well with your health and bits and pieces. So I wish you the best. It's great to see you on social media, really kicking on, and you've been training today. You've done your delts today, so good man.
No, I'm hitting the gym. I mean, that's part of my rehab. I eat good, and if I get to the gym every morning, I feel so much better that I did something. Because laying in the hospital bed just took the wind out of my sails. It just knocked me out. Yeah. And medications they give me, I don't like. So I'm back training. I can drive myself where I want to go. I couldn't drive for a while. I couldn't even leave the house. But I do now, and that's helped me. I've improved 80% in the past 2 weeks.
Brilliant stuff. No, that's good news.
It is. Absolutely.
Well, Rick, you get yourself off to the post office and send all those Gold Gyms logos out to those lucky
Yes.
receivers.
Yeah. I've got to look around and see if I find a date for Saturday night.
Good man.
Who are you going out with? I said, I had a beautiful girlfriend for 5 years. We broke up 7 months ago.
Okay.
But we're still pretty well connected. It's just, I don't think I'm ready to go out with anybody right now with my leg because I don't want to drag them down because I have to use a cane. I move slow, and it's like, it's not a lot of fun.
If anyone's listening to this and they've got a few hours on Saturday night, if they want to give Rick a shout, he might watch a movie with you.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay, mate. Well, listen, lovely to speak to you, Rick. Thanks so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I hope you'll enjoy all of this, as I said.
Thanks to Ric Drasin there. So Rick's crammed so much in, and I've enjoyed watching his career through the years. I love his determination, his passion, attitude to training and life. So let me know if you enjoyed that by getting in touch via industryangel.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't been in touch, make it your mission this week to drop me a line. If you'd like me to speak to anybody particular on the show or cover a certain topic, I'll try and make that happen for you. So until next time, I'm Ian Farrer. This is the Industry Angel, and thanks for listening.